Okay, so I'm going to go over, before I go into the lesson, I want to spend time reviewing our project that we have to do. So we need to go to weekly assignments and click on week 7. And you'll see here a company research project. So I don't know how many of you have started working on this. I'm going to sort of assume that the majority of the class is still working on other materials. So I'm going to review the company research project. So if you click on this, it'll bring up the instructions and the rubric. We're going to click on the instructions. Now, I posted a whole walkthrough video of this already. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to change the screen share. Make sure it's focused on the right material. Okay. Let me just make sure I change the screen share for you guys so you can see the proper screen. Okay, so we have their company research report. This project, now these dates are from fall 2022, but I have the actual dates listed on the Blackboard. What you need to do for this project is you need to choose an S&P 500 company. Here's an example of some S&P 500 companies listed over here. You need to pick a company, choose that company, and then you're going to do research on that company. The research is just answering some questions which are listed on here, and I'll go over those questions with you. So let's imagine we choose JP Morgan Chase or Nike, for example. We move down to the first section, we choose a company in the S&P 500. S&P stands for Standard and Poor's 500. It's the 500 top companies listed in the stock market on the US exchange stock market. So you'll see a lot of name brand like McDonald's and so on and so forth, Apple. You see a lot of those names on here. Not to be confused with the Dow, NASDAQ, those are all different indexes that highlight different companies under different categories. So once you choose your company, let's choose Nike in this example. You move down to the first section, which is the introduction. This is the first part you answer, which is pretty much everything in bullet point. The name of the company, Nike. Which stock exchange is the company traded on? The S&P 500, that's the answer. What's the ticker of the company? You're going to go to just Google Yahoo, go to Yahoo Finance, and then type in Nike in the search, inside the Yahoo Finance search function, and it'll give you the ticker. That's how you find the ticker. So then once you, and if you haven't noticed, you'll see right here, I give you the link. You can literally click on this link. It'll take you to Yahoo Finance. I give you the tip right here. The tip helps guide you and show you how to do the assignment, okay? So the next question is how to contact this company via postal mail, phone number, web address, and any social media account name. When you go to Yahoo Finance and you search for Nike or whatever company you choose, you will see a section that has contact information. That's what you need. And you just rewrite that out. Okay, that's pretty much that's section 1. We already just completed section 1 of your assignment. It's very easy, right? So there's no reason why you guys can't do this. I gave you the tip on where to find the answer. You move on to section 2. Okay. Now you answer all these questions here. And the third section as well. So a lot of the answers you need for question 2 are in Yahoo Finance. So when you search for your company on Yahoo Finance, it'll pull up a lot of information. It'll pull up the financials. It'll pull up the CEO information. Pretty much every single question that's here, most of the answers you can find on Yahoo Finance. So you can pretty much just go through it and answer all those questions. At some point, you'll need to go into the company's 10K. So to find a company 10K, you need to actually go on their website to find that. And I'll show you an example of how to do that. I do an example on the, I posted a video on announcements on how to, pretty much the same thing I'm going over. I'll just quickly show you how to do that. So let me go to the Nike website. Actually, I'll think one better. I'll go to Google and we'll do it together. And I'll show you how to find it. So let me change screen share. All right. So we type in Nike. Now, if you go to the Nike.com, you're just as an example to show you that you're not going to find financial information about the company. It's a store. You're going to buy clothing and sneakers, right? So how do I find the financial information about the store if I'm actually not at I'm not the corporate, right? So what we're looking for is we're looking for a way to access the actual company, corporate website. So you'll see at the bottom here, it says company. And you'll see here where it says investors. We need to click on and find, we need to go to the corporate website and click on the investor page, okay? Investors. And that's pretty much, we'll do a couple of companies so you'll see. Once you're at the Nike investor page, here you can find quarterly earnings, news, events, and reports. We're looking for their 10Ks, okay? So let's try to find annual reports. Okay, so let's look at their, right here, you see it says 10K. So we're looking for annual reports, click on 10K, it'll pull up their 10K. Okay, now when we're trying to answer our questions that we were looking at earlier, the questions are asking maybe specific questions that are on the 10K. The 10K is a lot of pages, okay? You're not gonna sit here and read all this. This is, financial analysts will pour over this and then they'll come up with an expectation on whether or not they think the company is going to do good or do bad or whatever it is. So trying to find an answer on the 10K is going to take too long. So it's important that we spend time finding out the answer quickly. So in order to do that, hold on a second here. You don't want to be scrolling through 100 pages, okay, to find an answer. So you on your keyboard, or if you're on your phone, you need to do a search. So if you're on a PC, you can hit Control F, okay, and you do it's called Finder. And when you do a Finder, it'll actually allow you, and you can see, you can find something, right? So if I wanted to say, let's say I'm looking for the word revenue. I type in the word revenue, I hit enter, it'll find every single word with the word revenue, right? If I'm looking for the word gross revenue or specific words, I can do that. So you could search and find very quickly, very easily what you're looking for by going to the 10K, using Finder if you're an Apple, or if you're on a PC, Control F. And once you do Control F, you can type in the answer you're looking for on the 10K, and find the answer very quickly. And that's how you'll be able to find the answer very quickly. So the other thing you need to take in consideration as well is the second part. Now let me change my screen back so I can show you. And I'm actually, let me just, before I do that, let's search for another, let's do Apple. Let's do Apple, for example. So you know, so you're more confident about finding the 10K. You have to find the 10K. 10K is a whole financial breakdown of the company. So here we are, Apple. We're not shopping for iPads and iPhones. We're looking for that investor page. So we want to usually scroll the bottom. And we're looking now. There's a lot of stuff here, right? So you see here, investors. Click on investors. It'll bring you to their investor website. And we're looking primarily for annual reports, the 10K, which is the annual report. Click on the 10K to 2023, which is the most recent one. Here it is. And you can do the exact same thing. It's a lot of pages. You can see here it's 57 pages. No one's expecting you to read through 57 pages. Okay, so I'm just telling you, do use Finder. Use Find, the Find feature. If you're on an Apple product, you can do the Find feature. If you're on a PC, you do Control F, and you can type in whatever you need to type in. Okay. So if I'm looking for, let's say, the word gross revenue, the word the gross revenue. If I type in word gross, it'll show me 20 something, 40 words of the word gross. So we see here gross margins. So whatever the word I'm looking for, specifically the question I'm looking for, I can try to find that word and then start hunting for the answer that way. That way you don't have to read 58 pages of material. So you go to you go to the website, you scroll down, and you look for investors, you click on that, and then find the 10K. That's how you can find a lot of those answers. Okay, so I'm going to change the screen share to, I'm going to go back on the assignment. All right, now we're back here on the assignment, and that was pretty much section 2. So now we go to section 3, and on section 3, you can say hi, Emily.
Hi.
That's my daughter. She's just stopping into the classroom. So in section 3, you'll see here S&P 500, revenue, net income. These are a lot of the same questions you'll actually find on the 10K. So you can type in the word total revenue under the search function, or you can type in net income under the search function, and you can find the net income under the 10K. You can find the words total revenue or revenue under the 10K. You can answer those questions. The last thing they're looking for, and I have the tip here, I tell you how to find it, Control F on the file. So I wrote it here on the document. But one of the things they're also looking for is you have to look at the competitor, right? So this one's saying identify at least one competitor. So who is Apple's competitor? Probably Microsoft, right? So you would go and you would look at Microsoft, you look at their revenue, you look at their income, and you're going to find the information about what the question is asking for the competitor. They're also wanting to know weaknesses, so sort of like a SWOT analysis. Something very easy you can do is, for a SWOT analysis, is you can literally just Google, and you'll see over here the conclusion. There's a SWOT table But if you're looking for the strengths and weaknesses of a competitor company or even the primary company, just Google, just Google it, okay? And we're gonna do that right now. Let me change the sharing back to, all right? So let's say Apple, you just type in Apple SWOT. And you'll see so many, you can go to images, you'll see so many SWOT analysis of Apple already done for you. It'll tell you their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities, their threats. And you could do a SWOT analysis for your company and the competitor, and you can then answer the question because these are Fortune 500 companies. They've been analyzed to death. There's nothing new here. You're not looking for new answers. You're not looking for new questions. These are old answers, old questions, analyzed to death. So you don't have to do a lot of thinking, just some good research. You can find information about the competitor company. You can find the SWOT analysis, which is the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, and use those answers to solve the question that's being shown to you. Okay? You're going to do all this on a Word document. You can, and once it's completed, you're going to submit it. Where do I submit this assignment? All right, now let's go back to our main screen. Okay. And let's go to weekly assignments. So this, for those students that came late, this is under week 7, company research project. That's where you find the company research project. You're going to answer the questions there. And we were going over that. Obviously, this is recorded, so you could pull up the recording the recording. I usually post up the recording the following week. I'll try to post up a little sooner. So if you scroll to weekly assignments, okay, so here we are under week 7 and week 13, I believe. Let me see, which week is it? Week 12. Week 12. So when you go to week 12, you're actually going to see the company project submission. So this is where you will submit your assignment. You'll complete it as a Word document. It should be a page of maybe 2 pages, no more than 2 pages. You click on this submission link, and you're going to post your submission here. Okay. So you're going to upload a file, add your Word document, and you're going to submit your submission. Okay. So that's the main project. That's due to about 20% of your grade. The second part of that project, the second part is the presentation. And if you actually look at the description of the company research description, you'll see that once you complete all the questions, there's a second part that gives examples on how to do the presentation. You know, some different during different classes, I will often change how the presentation is done. I would want you guys to just do a virtual presentation. So how we're on Zoom right now, you would essentially jump on your own Zoom room and record yourself doing a presentation. If you'd rather record yourself using a phone, camera, or whatever device you have to record yourself, do that. Then you upload that recording to, let's say, YouTube, and then you're going to submit that recording to me. So if you upload a video of yourself on YouTube, the Zoom recording on YouTube, that's what I do. I upload the Zoom recordings on YouTube. I post a YouTube link. That's how I share my content with you guys. and you record yourself presenting the research material that you did. So all the material we just went over, you're going to just make up a presentation. Generally, the presentation needs to be on a PDF, not a PDF, excuse me, a PowerPoint presentation. If you haven't created a PowerPoint presentation yet, it's one of the Microsoft applications is Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint. Go on PowerPoint, create a presentation, pretty much just summarizing the work you did. Let's say if you chose Nike or Apple, you'd go over the company name, the ticker, the address, the 10K information, the financial information, who their competitor is, how much money the competitor makes. You know, a handful of slides, probably no more than 10 or 11 slides, no more than 12. So you're going to submit the video or a link of yourself making the presentation. I also need the PDF. I will clarify, let me just look at here. I'll clarify more so for you as we get closer to the time. But let me pull up the company research one more time. Okay, so if we scroll down here, you'll see the presentation. Okay, presentation is due at the end of the, is the last day of class is when your presentation is due. All right, so you see here, this one says students will be placed into groups. We won't be doing groups, okay? Usually this is sort of a group project. That's why it says groups. We won't be doing groups. I will send out some email clarifications next week because your company projects actually due next week. And then you have 3 weeks to work on your presentation. So I will post the company presentation. I have a video too for the presentation, okay? I will post the presentation clarification next week. So here it's saying you'll be put into groups and you'll do your presentation. This is a hybrid course. So we're not actually meeting in person all the time. And we're working on asynchronous work virtually. So some students aren't even in the US. Some students are in different countries. So there's no way you can actually work in groups. And then 99% of the coursework is all individual. So I have you guys do your project individually. I have you make a virtual presentation because you find yourself doing virtual presentations in the future. Company boards, doing presentations to clients, doing presentations to managers, to teams is virtual, right? You don't always have the luxury to do things in person. So getting used to doing technology virtually is important because it's how business is being done now. So make the presentation for your company presentation for your research work. Record yourself. Complete a PowerPoint as well, and you'll upload that. Okay. So you'll see here the topics on the presentation, about 12 slides. Again, this is not going to be done in the group. This is being done individually. Okay, this is all being done individually. I'm changing the syllabus for you guys to do it individually. There's only like 8 of you here right now in participating in our class. By the end of the semester, I'm lucky if I have five kids left coming in. So they do the work. Even some of the students that don't show up do the work, but I find this works better. Okay, so there's no team. All right, keep the presentation short, 3 to 5 minutes. I give instructions on how to use Zoom if you want to use Zoom. If you want to use a different recording technology and upload it, that's up to you. You can take out your iPhone, record yourself, do a Google on how to upload a iPhone recording on YouTube. Someone will give you a 3-minute walkthrough and show you how to do it, and now you're on YouTube. So, and yes, you can record directly from YouTube as well to the recording studio tools. So, you guys can easily figure out how to do that. You probably can teach the professors how to do it quicker than I will, because you guys are more technologically savvy, but I still posted how to do that here on Zoom for your reference if you decide to use Zoom or not, okay? So the reason why there's instructions on the group company presentation, because if the class was done for a group presentation, these are the instructions. It's being done for individuals, so each person is going to do their own individual presentation, okay? Presentations due at the end of the semester. You're going to take your research report, your project, all the information you did, and you're going to present it. The presentation is very easy, it's very quick. You know, a couple of minutes presentation, summarizing your slides, your PowerPoint slides, okay? So I wanted to go over with you guys the company presentation, how to do it. I see a chat thing here. So the project, so the company project is due next week, technically, okay? But you could submit it after. So it's the submission link is there for next week. You could knock this out on the weekend. So that's the project that I went over earlier during the class. That's what I also posted on the announcements, the video of how to do that. I went over how to do it again here during this whole class lecture is me going over the company project. So that is technically due next week, week 13. Okay. Then after sorry, but we're in week, not week 13. Hold on. Let me just make sure before I tell you guys. I showed it to you. Let me just make sure. Okay. Next week is next week. So next week's submission, which is week 12, you'll see the submission link, which I just went over it on here already. You'll see the submission link for your assignment, and you'll be able to post your actual, you'll be able to do your actual research project. You'll be able to post it. You can post it afterward. You know, if you don't have it completed by next week, you could do it the week after, the next week after. The submission is open until the end of the semester. So you have until the end of the semester to submit your presentation, your research report, and your presentation, okay? Try to do your research report sooner than later. So don't wait till the end of the semester because you have a final to do as well. You have to take a final exam. You want to have time to study for that. So take the next 3 weeks to try to knock out your company project. You could do it this weekend, actually. I literally just showed you where to find all the answers. I showed you where to get all the answers. I showed you how to do the research. I put the physical tips, I actually listed the tips in the actual document of where to find it, Yahoo Finance. You go on investor page, you go on the, let's say Nike or Apple or Microsoft, you scroll to the bottom, you see the investor section, click on the investor section, download the annual 10K, use Control F or Control Finder to find the answers. I gave you all the ways how to do it. So technically it's due next week is when the submission link is open. So if you can try to pace yourself for that, please do that. Once you complete the research project, then you have the company presentation, which is the presentation of your research project. That's going to be a PowerPoint presentation. It's being done individually. You're going to upload the PowerPoint presentation and a recording of yourself. Some students uploaded a video of themselves in talking in front of their presentation on a computer. So I was able to see the presentation in the background on their computer while they record themselves using a camera. That was okay as well. And that's those are your two major project assignments, followed by your midterm and your final, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. And if you haven't taken your midterm, please take your midterm. Okay, you literally cannot pass the course if you don't take your midterm. Okay, so if you're not, that's just like you just don't care if you're not going to take your midterm. I know you guys are busy. I know you're managing a lot of different classes, but that's sort of like very basic stuff where you got to take your midterm. If you took your midterm for some reason and you accidentally, had a problem during the midterm, for example, your screen went out or your screen closed down or you weren't able to complete the midterm, let me know. I could reset the midterm for you to start from the beginning because sometimes people have technical issues when they're taking their exam. Their internet goes out, the screen crashes or froze, and they can't get back in. So let me know if you have any technical issues or if you had technical issues, and I'll be able to take care of that for you. All right, guys. So thank you again. I'm going to end recording, and we're having one more live in-class meeting that's coming up. I will post on the announcements which Thursday we're having that meeting. It's either going to be the last day of class or the day before, the week before the last day of class. I know we have spring break coming up, so I'll give you at least a week's notice in advance. The rest of our classes will continue to be Zoom lectures online, but we are going to have one more live meeting before the end of the semester, okay? Take care, everybody.